Welcome to ProPractice, your guide to piano mastery. I'm Josh Wright, and today's tutorial is the 8th video in the ProPractice Technique Series, where together we're going to be covering scales, arpeggios, triads, and inversions, and seventh chords and inversions in each key. Today's video will focus on the key of D flat major and C sharp minor. We'll be going over the D flat major and the C sharp minor harmonic scale. Just a quick reminder, the reason we do just the harmonic is it's easy enough to switch to the natural minor and also the melodic minor. I want to keep these videos concise. You can absolutely just look in a scales book if you need help knowing what the natural and the melodic minor are. We will also be going over major and minor arpeggios, major, minor, diminished, and augmented triads and inversions, and then major, dominant, minor, half-diminished, and fully diminished seventh chords and inversions. Today's unique practice methods we're going to be going over too, because I think that they're both helpful to consider, are shifting versus crossing, as well as a concept I like to refer to as inserting gaps. Both of these methods will help to take out pauses or awkward hesitations in your scales or arpeggios, and even the chords can be benefited by these concepts. Let's dive into D flat major scale, the D flat major scale. Also, as we progress through this series, we're upping our metronome marking tempo. So today we're going to be shooting for 130 at 4 notes per click, and throughout this series we'll go all the way to 160. And even a little bit of 180 in the very last video, the F major video and the D minor video, F major, F minor videos. Okay, so D flat major, we're going to take a look just at the fingering to begin with. We'll start with left hand this time, switch it up a little bit. 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. And at the top, rather than crossing over to a 3 there, I just like to go to a 2 because I'm already kind of across my body here. I don't want to be crossing over more than I have to, so that 2 feels really comfortable there. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just in case you're not following these videos in this series chronologically, a quick reminder about the fingering. Each scale is comprised of a group of 3, 2, 1 or 4, 3, 2, 1 in the left hand, or in the right hand 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where you start just depends on the scale. And this is especially pertinent as we get into the C sharp minor, which we will in just a moment. But looking where the 4 comes can help you to know the fingering for the rest of the scale. Okay, so 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4s on B flats in the right hand as we play this D flat major scale. 4. Let's try that again. 4. 4. 4. And so forth. Okay, you can do that as many times as you need. Now let's put these hands together. 4 left, 4 right, 4 left, 4 right. Quick reminder, we're going to pause there for just a second. A lot of students get off balance as they get up into these super high registers, especially when the left hand's all the way over. So one thing I mentioned in a previous video is keeping your shoulders as parallel to the ground and then shifting over into your weight into that foot and that right sit bone that you're sitting on. So don't tip your whole body over. Instead, shift as if you're guarding someone in basketball. So you go over like this. You don't tip over. Okay, so coming back down. 4 right, 4 left. 4 right, 4 left. 4 right, 4 left. A little smoother. All right. What is this unique practice method about shifting versus crossing? And then furthermore, maybe we'll do inserting gaps with C sharp minor just to save on time a little bit. This idea of shifting versus crossing has to do with how much we cross our thumbs or cross our hands over versus just shifting the hands. If we did a pure shift, no crossing at all, it would look like this. Okay, it's a little awkward to do. In the left hand. See, there's a gap between there because I'm not crossing over. Now, if I just only do crosses and I don't really allow the hand to shift at all, a lot of times students will contort and they'll do weird movements like this, way too extreme. I taught a student probably 20 years ago. I think I was a teenager when I taught him, and his teacher had taught him to only do crosses. There wasn't any shifting. So he came with all these twists and turns, and while it was perfectly smooth in a really slow tempo, he had a really hard time getting into faster tempos. So this whole idea of shifting versus crossing, how much do we need of each? As I play, so my thumb kind of starts just in a neutral position here, and then I start to cross under, but I never do it in a harsh way. I'm never yanking it over and causing tension like that. I'm just allowing it to pass under gently so that by the time I get to this next thumb, it's just sitting there waiting, okay? You don't have to have humongous hands in order to get over either. My daughter is taking piano. She's 8 years old, and she has tiny hands, and she's still able to get perfectly legato scales applying these methods. It's a little bit harder to do with arpeggios if you have really tiny hands, but you can still do it if you're flexible enough. Remember our three types of movement. We have supination and pronation, kind of this doorknob turning motion. We have ulnar and radial deviation, this wave motion, and we have extension and flexion, this hinge motion. So as I play a scale, I have a very small little wave rotation with that thumb cross. I even might turn the doorknob just a little bit and come up with the wrist, that little bit of a hinge as well to prepare that thumb. And that makes the scale feel extremely smooth. As you increase tempo, so if we go really fast, I'm still doing crosses, but the shifting takes over. So this is one thing that I want you to separate in your minds. Crossing is more important in slow tempos and less important in really fast tempos. It's still important, but it's critical in slow tempos, because if you do a shift only right there in the right hand, you're going to have a big gap in order to get there. Okay, now if I try to do crosses in a really fast tempo, like overdoing the crosses, my hands are going to be moving way too much. So it's almost like we're putting ourselves on a conveyor belt. We're going to talk a lot about this in the chromatic scale video later in this series, but this idea of just shifting the hands with these little crosses, either crossing over or crossing under with our thumb, crossing over with our hand, crossing under with the thumb, allows us to keep our hand in a very neutral position. So watch my hands as I play this. If you were to mute the sound, I'll just touch the keys to simulate muting the sound. It would almost look like I'm just moving up the keyboard. It's not truly just this, because obviously I have motion going on in my hands. But that idea has revolutionized smoothness and fluidity in scales for a lot of my students. So one more time. Let's actually just put on our metronome at 130. So let's do the 1, 2, 3, 4 method. This is a review from a previous video. 1 octave, 1 note per click, 2 octaves, 2 notes per click, and so forth. See how I'm able to maintain a pretty neutral position? My fingers are fairly extended. Just a little review. I can't remember if we did it on B major or G flat major, but basically talking about how when you're playing these ergonomically easy scales, like with the long fingers like 2-3 or 2-3-4 playing the black keys and the short fingers playing the white keys, B major, G flat major, D flat major, they're all very comfortable in that way. Keeping the fingers slightly more extended, a little flatter. It's not that we want to completely play like this or anything, but just a little bit flatter helps to increase our margin of error so that when we really get moving, we're not worried about slipping off those keys. If we're a little bit more extended as we move through these positions of shifting versus crossing, that extra surface area on the keys will help a lot. You want to be careful to not take that idea too far, because if you start playing on way too much surface area, it's going to feel sluggish. But I don't think you need really sharp fingers on black key scales, especially something that's this many flats. So maybe on A major or something, as we play just 3, it could be a little bit sharper, but as we play these primarily black keys scales, a little flatter will help as well. Okay, let's go to this idea of inserting gaps. This was taught to me by my teacher at the University of Michigan, Dr. Logan Skelton. He's a brilliant teacher, one of the most sought-after teachers in the world, actually, and I was really lucky to have studied with him. And he introduced me to this idea that